My name is Katherine Mueller. I'm 31 years old, and almost exactly 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with a neuroendocrine tumor in my pancreas and with metastasis to the liver.
Wow. And so the liver metastasis was present when you discovered the primary tumor.
Yeah, they found that first.
They found the liver tumors first.
Yeah, we had to go searching for the primary.
Wow. Could you talk a bit about that, about the process of how this first presented in your life and how you were
Sure.
diagnosed and all that stuff?
Like many NET patients, it took a long time to be diagnosed. I had symptoms well before diagnosis. So it started out with, I mean, now I'm so open to talking about everything, I don't really care, but it started out with diarrhea. And of course, I just didn't really want to go to see the doctor about diarrhea. So that was kind of, something I may have avoided for a couple months. But then once it was every day, I went to a doctor and because I have a history of IBS in my family, they just automatically jumped to that. So I was given some medication that didn't work, but I kind of dropped it. I got some blood work. That's what they kept ordering, and all my blood work was always normal. And then I started having the acid reflux, and um, it got really bad to the point where I was throwing up like at least twice a week. And I was like, this is not normal. So I went to a GI specialist and they finally did an endoscopy and colonoscopy, which didn't find anything. But for some reason, she just kind of had a nagging feeling and she did a gastrin test. And that blood test showed that it was sky high. So I think it's all about ordering the right tests, because I kept getting all these panels of blood tests and everything was normal until that one. And then they did a sonogram, and then a CT and an MRI and found that I had a lot of metastasis in my liver. It pretty much already taken over. And then they sent me for an ultrasound guided endoscopy, and that's when they found the just tiny little 1 centimeter tumor in my pancreas that had started this whole thing.
Wow. So the pancreatic, and first of all, don't be, we talk about poop so much on this series, you have no
Oh,
idea.
and I'm not embarrassed
Yeah,
anymore. This
it's
was when I was 28, and I was just kind of like, didn't
no,
really want
totally.
to. Now I know, just tell them everything, just get
Um
it all out there.
the so to speak. The so the peanut is a gastronoma then? It was
Yes.
producing that. Um and was that, I mean, how did that make you feel? It's a dumb question, but you know, to have that much that had been going on and growing for so long on a without your being aware of it, what went through your mind when you discovered this?
It wasn't real. I mean, it was crazy. Especially when when we just had the liver metastasis, they didn't know where the primary was from. Um, I went to an oncologist at the hospital I work at, which he's amazing, but he's not a net specialist by any means. And he, is kind of trying to gently tell me that since this is in your liver, like it started somewhere else, it's not going to be curable. And I just couldn't fathom that something had gone that far, you know what I mean? Like without me knowing, how could that be? But I eventually was able to accept that once I thought maybe it had started in the liver. I just didn't understand much about this, and doing my research and learning as much as I could really helped calm me down. Even though I wasn't getting the news that I wanted, it helped me understand exactly what was going on inside my body, and that was the biggest thing for me. Just knowing, not just being kind of unaware of what was happening.
Tell me about well, it's amazing, is it, because it's like the superpower of the liver is also the problem, right? That it can take that much and
Yeah.
work through it. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. um
That's because at that time my liver function tests were all normal too. So I was like, I don't get it. Like, how's this possible? But
um it, so tell me about treatment and your sort of course of
yeah,
treatment that took
I
place.
have had a long road of treatments. So we immediately started out with, the lanreotide shots, and that's basically, in my case, just for symptoms. We figured that isn't helping with the tumors. But I had a bland embolization, two chemo embolizations, two Y90 embolizations. Um, I did Cap-Tem, it's oral chemo, Afinitor, PRRT. I've kind of gone through the list. When I was first diagnosed, Dr. Kataya wrote me, she made me like a piece of paper. That's my oncologist. She made me a piece of paper that was my toolbox, and we just kind of steadily checked each one off. And the most I've ever really gotten from any of these treatments is like maybe one clear scan, and then the next one it's uh, come back or it's grown or progressed.
So surgery was never an option from where you
I
came?
didn't think so. So they always told me that surgery was not an option. And then just this year, I had a doctor that wanted to do a liver resection on me. I think because I had gone through all of the, the regular treatments that they want to put you through first. I'd done them and nothing had really worked. So he tried to do a liver resection, but once he opened me up, realized it was too much. It was too extensive, and it would have been more risky to do the surgery than just close me up. So that was a huge disappointment, waking up and being like, so did you get it? And nothing had really been done. And I still had this crazy recovery because I had this huge scar. Um, and then after that, I started really going into liver failure, and my bilirubin was, going up every time I got blood work. I was very yellow. um, and I found a doctor in New York, a surgeon that took a chance on me and said that he would do a liver transplant. And this was after I'd been given like 3 weeks to live, which is a horrible thing to hear. Again, I just could not wrap my mind around it, how that was possible. So he said he would take a chance on me. He did it. We're hoping that was my miracle, and it was my miracle, because even though the cancer has come back, unfortunately, I had 3 weeks, and now, in the amount of time that it's been like 9 months since my transplant. We've gone to so many weddings, we've gone on vacations, we've done, so many things with family, so had so much quality time that I hope the surgeons there know that it was a success for me, at least. But unfortunately, yeah, I'm back on the train of trying to find different treatments. We tried platinum chemotherapy, because after my liver transplant, they found out that um, a lot of my tumors were high grade. And we had always thought that it was like a mid-grade, my Ki-67 was like 7 to 10. And when they did biopsies of all the different tumors, they found out that most of them were high grade. So we thought maybe chemo would work, but fortunately it did not. And now I am about to start, well, I had my first treatment of immunotherapy. So that's the next step.